Every exhilarating rush in the great wide open, every soul-reviving adventure, every adrenaline-filled memory shared with family and friends started here. RZR created the world's first performance side-by-side to propel renegades, racers, adventurers, and explorers further than they'd ever gone before. Since then, we've been on the gas, constantly refining design and aggressively accelerating innovation to keep the sport racing forward. Undeterred by the limits of conventional thinking, we keep finding bold new ways to do what once seemed impossible.
Welcome everyone, I'm Rutledge Wood, and thanks for joining us for one of the most historic launches in Polaris RZR history. When people talk about the evolution of side-by-side culture, racing, exploration, and vision, there's only one vehicle that not only started it all, but continues to push the limits and leave a lasting mark both on and off the track, the Polaris RZR. Now today, we mark a new chapter in the history of Polaris as we set forth a new generation of Polaris RZR, one that dramatically raises the bar and sets a new standard for side-by-side design and performance. At this point, the fact that an all-new Polaris RZR is coming is no secret. That's because 3 weeks ago, the entire off-road world was treated to a jaw-dropping spectacle with R.J. Anderson behind the wheel of the new RZR, turning the city and beaches of Long Beach, California into his own personal off-road playground. Did you see that? I mean, that video is absolutely mind-blowing. So in addition to the Hoonigan video, Polaris has pumped out a bunch of videos that really set the stage for this incredible new RZR debut. As every adrenaline-hungry, dirt-loving, rock-crawling side-by-side driver knows, the RZR not only created the performance UTV industry, but also continues to push its boundaries year after year. The next generation of RZR sets an entirely new standard in three critical areas: power, strength, and control. Power coming courtesy of a monster engine delivering more horsepower than any other side-by-side to date. A next-level roll cage and chassis delivering a level of strength typically only found through significant aftermarket modification. And control, thanks to what is arguably the most technologically advanced suspension system ever developed for a stock machine. Now I could go on, but instead, joining us today is Polaris Off-Road President Steve Minetto. Steve's here to share more about the new offering and why it's so important, not only to Polaris, but to the entire off-road industry. Steve!
Rutledge.
Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, to be at this historic launch for the RZR is unbelievable. What was the inspiration behind the new RZRs?
It's always customer inspired. We innovate, we push boundaries, we do what we can to make it a great experience on RZR. We really want to give the customers that thrill, that adventure, the ability to connect socially with their friends and ride together. It's all about creating that opportunity for them.
I mean, it's huge. You know, the RZR is a foundational off-road vehicle in that y'all started an entire movement here, and it's a culture that had never existed before. So how do you keep in mind with what the drivers, the riders, what they're all looking for in that experience as you continue to lead the way in the side-by-side off-road?
Yeah, we spend a lot of time with research with our customers. We spend time riding with them, going to events, spending a lot of time reading blogs online. and really getting that information that could drive into the next vehicle.
Because it seems like Polaris as a company is out there in the dirt as much as the customers are.
We build products with a bunch of enthusiasts, and we love riding. It's part of our experience, and we get up every day working to make it better.
How important was it for you guys to use the technology and the ways that the industry has changed in these new Polaris RZRs?
Yeah, every day we're looking to how do we make that whole experience better. So we think about our engine, our suspension, connected vehicles, how do we drive a better experience for our overall customers, and we plow that right into the products and make just super awesome products.
Am I correct in thinking these are going to be the most technologically advanced side-by-sides that the world has ever seen?
You're definitely correct on that. From our engine, the horsepower, it's all about getting that power, that strength and control into the vehicles and letting them just go crazy with it.
I think it's about time we introduce the latest, the greatest from Polaris RZR. Steve, how about you do the honors?
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of everyone at Polaris, I am proud to present the all-new RZR Pro R and RZR Turbo R.
Introducing an entirely new category of side-by-side performance, built for those who live wide open. The all-new RZR Turbo R and revolutionary RZR Pro R. This pair of new industry leaders is reimagined from the ground up to put you at the top of the food chain. RZR Turbo R sets a bold new standard for performance side-by-sides. It's incredibly responsive, remarkably agile, and ruggedly strong. RZR Turbo R is a flat-out monster. The revolutionary RZR Pro R is an absolute beast. And RZR Pro R has the strength to match its power and performance. So no matter how wild the ride, you've always got the strength to keep going. In the race to rule side-by-side performance, RZR now holds the top 2 spots. Confident in the jaw-dropping performance and incredible strength of this bold new breed, it's time to take your place at the front of the pack.
That's right, everyone. Not one, but 2 new RZR models. And these things look incredible. The new Polaris RZR Pro R and RZR Turbo R represent a new standard in off-road power, strength, and control. Both vehicles expand the possibilities of off-road performance, whether tackling dirt tracks, trail systems, desert dunes, or the wildest rugged off-road terrain. RZR Pro R will be hitting dealers in early 2022, while RZR Turbo R is slated to hit dealers in spring. Now for a deeper dive into the details of both of these incredible machines, I'd like to introduce Pat McCardle, Director of Product for Polaris RZR. Thanks for joining us, Pat.
Yeah, it's great to be here, man.
Man, nobody knows these beastly machines better than you do. Would you take a minute and we can walk around them, check them out?
Yeah, let's wander over and check it out.
So Pat, this is it. This is the best of the best right here. This is the RZR Pro R 4-seater. So tell me some of the things that make this so new and so special.
Yeah, absolutely, man. This is the ultimate trim. So this is the top of the line, right? We got power, strength, and control. If we look at power, there's a huge power plant in the back of this thing we can talk about, right? We got a new 4-cylinder engine pumping out 225 horsepower. You know, it's 4-valve per cylinder, dual overhead cam, so kind of classic Polaris ProStar, technology there. But there's also some, questions we've seen popping up. People are wondering, hey, did you guys just drop a slingshot engine in this?
Sure.
The answer is no, we didn't. We designed this engine for the off-road application for a RZR. So when you look at it, we've got things like a lightweight crankshaft, so this motor can rev really quick, in this machine. We've got a unique oiling system so that we can hit high angularities. So when you're going up and down and climbing things off-road, you don't have to worry about starving that oil pump.
Sure.
I mean, it's a really sweet engine when you get to hear it sing. And the other thing that's cool is we've actually got user selectable throttle modes now. So there's a switch on the dash that if you flip it all the way down, that's gonna put you in sport mode. So it's right here in the center. That's gonna operate just like a classic RZR that you're used to for how you push that pedal and how the engine reacts. When you flip to the middle position, that's actually gonna be used for slow speed rock crawling. So when you really wanna be able to see that front tire rock up and over things, you can use that one. And then all the way up is when you're, just want to go Johnny on the hard gas. That's the race mode. So it's going to be the fastest reacting mode. When you start tipping into that pedal, the machine's going to throw you back in the seat and go. So it's a ton of fun. You know, as we keep going back from the engine, connecting out to the wheels, we've got an all new set of clutches and belt on this. So we've actually gone to a longer belt with a longer center distance. So we've increased the strength of that to match the power of the engine. We've also improved the airflow through there, so it's a whole new clutch setup on this one.
And that's all about cooling. That's trying to get the most out of it, get that power down to the ground.
You got it,
sure.
Exactly. So then we keep going back from there. Standard kind of park, reverse, neutral, low, high gear transmission, so you can select that, but we have geared down low on this, so it's a little more capable in technical riding. So
nice.
Instead of having a really fast speed when you're in low, it's gonna top out right around 30 miles an hour and give you really good slow speed control. And then when you flip to high, you're gonna be able to run flat out in the desert. So it's gonna be, put that grin on your face while you go.
What are we talking, what do we think top speed? We're getting close to 90?
Yeah, on the two-seater, it'll go 90 miles an hour. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Goodness
for sure,
gracious.
Yeah, so then when you go back from there, we've got a lock spool in the rear, so back wheels are always spinning. There's a new rear gear case, and then we've actually got an all-new front drive in this too, so there's a new four-wheel drive system. And if you look on your side, you've actually got the switch for that. So when that switch is all the way down, you're in two-wheel drive, so locked rear end like any RZR we've had in the past. When you go to the middle, it's actually gonna put it in four-wheel drive, but with an unlocked front diff. So that's gonna be good for high-speed cruising or where you're just out, riding around. But if you need ultimate traction, flip that switch all the way up and you're gonna lock that front end. You're gonna get 1-to-1 ratio, so all four wheels are pulling. So think of that, when you're rock crawling or real technical, or, when you're sitting at the bottom of Olds out in Glamis and you wanna race up the hill, you want all four wheels pulling you off the line for that.
That's huge, man.
Yeah, for sure. So, not just a new engine in this thing, but a whole new driveline to get that power all the way out to the wheels.
Well, and then when you look at how you're gonna use that kind of power, the strength of this thing is seen. First off, I'm 6'3", and it's way bigger than me, but man, roll cage and everything else, this sucker is so beefy.
Yeah, so when you look at strength, right, there's some things you can't see, so this has got a one-piece mainframe, so it's fully welded front to back, no joint in the middle like some of our older models had. And even the cage on the Pro R is a one-piece cage now. So the only places that there's bolts between the chassis and cage are the points like A, B, C, and D pillar. And we use some, beefy 2-inch tubing on this, fully gusseted up cage. It's a really nice system there. When you look at strength though, it's not just about the chassis and cage, right? We gotta think about things like the suspension. So if we walk back up to the front of this, you look down at these control arms and you can see the beef just visually looking at it.
Pat,
right?
they are massive,
They're
man.
huge, yeah, absolutely. And we've got the shock, mounted down to the lower control arm, straddling that half shaft going onto the wheel. So it's a really unique design that helps bring that shock down and keep good sight lines over the hood. So yeah, you look, you go front suspension, super beefy, chassis, cage, everything's beefed up. When you get out to the wheel end, we've got 5-bolt hubs for the first time, and it's a unitized hub bearing. So, you don't have to worry about clamping tons of load through that half shaft. It's a really strengthened up system.
Now to put all these things together, it's gotta come through in that control that the driver feels. So where are the areas that this thing really shines on control?
Yeah, so if you think about control, one of the cool things, especially on this Ultimate trim, when you get Dynamics active suspension, is that we used to just have kind of comfort, sport, and firm, and you set your baseline damping and adjusted from there. Well, now we've made it a little more terrain or event specific. So you've actually got comfort, track, Baja, and rock. And as you go, the cool thing about it is not only are we adjusting the shocks at all four corners, but we're actually adjusting the steering feel too. So the assist changes as you change those modes. So we're able to give you, nice light steering when you're in a mode like comfort and you're just cruising around all day. We can give you heavier steering and better feedback when you're in that track mode. So when you're, railing on smoother terrains. When you get into rock, we're gonna give you the most assist we can for that low speed drivability. And the Dynamics even does cool stuff like lean you into the hill now because we have both compression and rebound control for the first time independent on this.
Pat, the RZR Pro R is insane. This thing's a monster. Can we go check out the Turbo R?
Absolutely, let's head check it out, man.
So Pat, the RZR Turbo R is so different from some of the turbo models in the past. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Turbo R is really the replacement in the lineup for the old Turbo S that we stopped building after model year 21. And there's a heck of a lot of upgrades to this model, right? We've got, one-piece chassis, we've got the new style, we've got the new interior, we've got the tilt and telescoping steering on it. When you go in the back, we've upgraded the transmission with wider gears and better bearings. We've strengthened up, the shafts all around to get out to the wheel ends. We put bigger brakes on this that are actually shared with the Pro R.
Nice.
So we got huge triple piston calipers up front, duals in the back, and there's a cool top hat rotor design that's actually two-piece. So it's aluminum on the inside, steel where the brake pads contact, So we can really keep a little weight out of that for that unsprung mass at the corners.
That's huge, man.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that are actually shared between the Turbo R and the Pro R. You know, we've got things like Dynamics Active Suspension, where we've got the 4 different modes of comfort, track, rock, and Baja.
Nice.
And not only is that gonna do the Dynamics DV, so the compression and rebound on the shocks, but the steering as well. So you get a lot of, you know, cool technology coming to this. The other thing I haven't mentioned on either is the Ride Command technology, right? So we've got, you know, awesome GPS navigation. You can pair these units up, you know, with other RZRs or other people that have that, so you can actually see where they're at on maps. You know, if somebody needs to stop for a trail break, they can send you a message right through your display. It'll pop up. So it makes it so everybody kind of gets that front of the line, I'm out of the dust experience if you use it right.
That's
Super
amazing.
cool.
You're dropping a pin for your friend, except using the technology that exists with these vehicles to make those experiences better.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, you know, a lot of times I go riding with people and I've been around for a while, so I get to be the guy in the front, so no eating dust, right? Well, now the nice thing is I can go out a mile, let the person behind me just track my dot on their map, and now they can experience that goodness of fresh, clean air as well.
That's huge, man.
Yeah.
It also seems like you guys have really worked with a bunch of aftermarket companies to make sure that you've got a line of accessories ready to roll.
Absolutely, yeah. So on both these models, we've got, you know, 70 to 80 accessories that fit either one. We've got companies like Rockford Fosgate on the integrated audio that you can upgrade, you know, and add on more speakers and subwoofers. We've got guys like Rigid that we're working with on light bars. We've got Pro Armor on wheels, tires, cages, doors. Yes, there's a lot of cool companies that we've been able to partner with. You know, Assault, you can see them on the mirrors. They've got some grills and other things. So a lot of these companies that, you know, people have known, we actually partnered with long ago and co-developed along the way, so that when we launched the Turbo R and Pro R, we'd have the full catalog of accessories ready to go.
Man, that's awesome. You and your team absolutely crushed it, man. These two machines are incredible, and I know people can't wait to get behind the wheel. Nice job.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The team did a hell of a job on these, and I'm super excited to be able to get to bring them out now.
Absolutely. And now it's time to welcome one of the most iconic pro drivers in off-road racing today, RJ Anderson. RJ, what's up, brother?
What's going on, Rutledge?
Nice to see you, man. You had a chance to get behind the wheel of one of these bad boys, and millions of people saw it with you and the new RZR Pro R. Tell us about the Hoonigan video. What was that experience like for you?
Man, what a treat. I mean, to not only work with the Hoonigan crew, those guys are a class act, you know, but also to take this brand new Pro R to the streets of Long Beach, I mean, talk about a dream come true. That was some epic places, and to be one of the first to ever even see this machine, get behind the wheel and go tear up an urban environment like that, talk about a life-changing experience. That was a blast.
I mean, 4 wide on the beach in Long Beach. You went up over the stairs, the highway, the parking deck with it. I'm pretty sure I was Tanner Faust in that taxi. How did you look at all that and go, oh, we can totally do this in a new Pro R?
So a lot of those stunts were even all new to me. I'd never jumped and landed on a staircase, went up the staircase, 2 wheels while someone's doing donuts around me. I mean, just kind of, you know, displaying what the cars are capable of. But at the same time going into it, the Pro R was all new to me. I didn't know what it was capable of. So as we were doing stunts, it was coming to me, and I'm like, it instantly gave me that comfort as a driver of how capable it really was. Man, the suspension is really what impressed me the most. I had so much comfort in it as a driver, knowing that it was there for me, even if I was to mess up.
Man, it was huge. Was there one stunt in that video you did with Hoonigan that was just kind of beyond anything you could have imagined?
I would say the stair set jump is my favorite, but that freeway jump was insane. I mean, having the freeway under it kind of doesn't give it the depth, but the ramp itself was almost 17 feet tall. So the instant I left that ramp, I was already headed to 20 feet in the air plus. Barely caught that last bit of landing there on that jump. So luckily it all worked out. That Pro R suspension was there for me on that one, let me tell you what. But yeah, just that was definitely the gnarliest stunt for me.
You're my hero. That was insane. I thought, how could it get crazier? Oh, I know what you do. You take RJ and our friend Tanner Faust, you invite him to a track to take out the new RZR Pro R and the RZR Turbo R and push these things to the absolute limit. So naturally, we're gonna load it with cameras so you can see exactly what it looks like to push one of these new machines to the max.
RJ, we made it. I mean, it's a cool, crisp Southern California desert day. We've got an insane track behind us, all groomed and prepped, and 2 ridiculous machines to rip. This is your normal Tuesday, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, Tanner, I'm like a kid on Christmas here. Perfectly prepped track, like you said, big jumps, fast sweeping corners, and the brand new Pro R and Turbo right behind us. I'm looking forward to shredding these things and seeing what they got and maybe having some fun out there with you.
I had never seen the Turbo R before. I've caught a couple glimpses of the Pro R, but it is absolutely ridiculous. You can see why they call it a game changer because, I mean, there's so much going on here. I can't wait to actually rip it in anger. It'll be my first time doing that, but I know that you're gonna shred it. Now, this is kind of the stuff you do all the time, so I'm gonna follow you first. Are you ready to do it?
This is my wheelhouse. I say we have some fun.
All right.
I think I'm gonna roost the out of you. That's my favorite one right there. Oh my God, full roost shot. Oh, roost to me. Dude, I can't believe how good it works through the rhythm section. That's insane.
Good times, good times. Dude, I'm literally chewing the dirt. Is this seriously what you do for a living?
I think I got some dirt in my teeth.
Yeah, I think you do. That is good stuff. I mean, honestly, I never would have thought, looking at this track, this is something that we'd be jumping around on bone stock machines like that.
Two separate bone stock machines. I've had a little time in the Pro R before, first time in the Turbo R. What's your overall thoughts?
Well, it seems like side by side, the Pro XP pushed it to a level, and now I think the game has totally been changed. This is longer, it's beefier, stronger, bigger engine, like everything has kind of reset the bar. So I don't think it's even a comparison.
I agree, not one, but two next level machines.
First of all, this isn't even a course that's like made for these. This is made for a motocross track. That's a 90+ foot gap. Hits it, lands like you're on a dirt bike or something. With 74 inches of width though on this little beast, I mean, you had to, I saw you throwing it into the berms hard. I don't know if I've seen you throw it into the berms that hard before.
So I was coming out of the inside of that corner and giving it everything I had, and here you come every time around the outside, just flying by me.
I'm like maybe a little more than half throttle through there, and I could hear you're pinned, and I felt bad. I didn't want to blow you away too fast. You got races coming up, you don't want your like confidence completely squashed like that.
What about those whoops? Those are big whoops.
We're freaking hauling over those things. Complete control, like I could steer in the whoops, I could slow down, speed up.
Yeah, those whoops are meant for a dirt bike to jump through, and we're just tackling them like they're not even there. It's pretty crazy.
It's unbelievable right off the showroom floor what they can do. Tons of power, unbelievable strength to put up with all that.
Talk about a game changer. No other machine can you bring out here, box stock, and go through this track like we did today. I'm ready to do it again.
Done.
RJ, it looked like you and Tanner had a blast out there. And again, I can't say this enough, in two bone stock RZR Pro R and the RZR Turbo R. Were you blown away by what y'all were able to do in stock machines?
Yeah, that track was an absolute blast. I'd had some time in the Pro R before, so I gave Tanner the keys to the big boy. I'd never seen the Turbo R before, so that track day was the first time even laying eyes on it. We absolutely tore up that track. It was a motocross track. Big lips,
huge,
fast turns, gnarly rhythm sections, and two stock machines, two totally different machines, tore it up no problem.
225 horsepower from the dealer, ready to rock. RJ, thank you so much for taking out the new RZR Pro R and RZR Turbo R out for a no-holds-barred off-road mission.
Thanks, Rutledge.
The Baja 1000 is arguably the most iconic and grueling off-road racing event there is. Wayne Matlock, he's won it 7 times and he's about to go for 8. Only this time, it's gonna be behind the wheel of the new RZR Pro R. Wayne, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Man, this is so cool. You've gotta be really confident in this new machine to take it to Baja only a few weeks after it's been launched. So talk about what you've been doing to really prepare yourself and the vehicle for this insane challenge.
You know, we've been dreaming about this vehicle for years, and we finally got it. This thing has, the suspension's just unbelievable on it. It's built super tough, and what a better environment than the Baja 1000 to go down and prove it.
I mean, it is the most insane race, I think, in the world.
Yeah, it's arguably the most grueling nonstop event in the world as far as off-road racing goes. It just so many different terrains and stuff like that. You've got deserts, you got mountains, you got beaches, and they throw it all together, and then you do it again and again and again. And hopefully we get it done in about 29 hours.
It's crazy. I mean, now this vehicle is brand new to all of us, but that's not quite the case for you. You've really been helping a lot on the testing side with the RZR Pro R. So having that in your pocket, I mean, is that a great competitive advantage for you with this?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, we've been testing this thing, trying to figure out the faults and stuff like that, and it's been bulletproof so far. This thing is just awesome right out of the box.
Polaris is dedicated to expanding what's possible for side-by-sides and enabling drivers like you to really push the bar. The funny thing is, you're not the only Matlock that's out there pushing boundaries. Your wife, Kristen, also races.
Yeah, she races too, and it's been a good thing for us with Polaris. If I have an issue, she might not have an issue and she'll take the win. So she's upset a lot of feelings with the guys out there, and it's been fun to watch.
Thanks for being with us, Wayne. Good luck in Baja.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Well, that about wraps it up for us, everyone. Thank you all for joining us for the first look and deep dive into the brand new game-changing RZR Pro R and RZR Turbo R. As pioneers in the side-by-side industry, Polaris is committed to furthering the sport, expanding recreational and professional off-roading capabilities, and most of all, providing an epic adventure for everyone who gets behind the wheel of a RZR. The new RZR Pro R will be hitting your local dealer in early 2022, and the RZR Turbo R will arrive in spring of 2022. Until then, visit razor.polaris.com or contact your local dealer to learn more about the revolutionary new RZR Pro R and RZR Turbo R and the many ways they raise the bar for off-road power, strength, control, and most of all, next level adrenaline and non-stop fun. I'm Rutledge Wood, and I'll see you out there.